Hello, everyone. So, I hope that you are finding this unit kind of fun. I think it's really fun. Yesterday I was able to look through all of your things and your tests and stuff, and I found out that we don't know a whole awful lot about the science of sound, which is actually a really good thing. So, that way that I'm able to present this and share some knowledge with you about the science of sound. So today we're going to kind of find out how things work, and we're going to find out why things work the way that they do and how we hear. All of it is basically hovered around one thing, and that's sound or vibration. So let's talk about that. So science of sound is pretty intricate, but we're just pretty much going to figure out how sound travels, okay? So, the definition of sound is any vibration perceived by the ear, and that's any vibration that's perceived by the ear, okay? So, sound kind of bounces in your ear. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. So, it bounces in your ear, and then you're able to hear it. So, vibrations, Mrs. Winland, that doesn't make sense. There's nothing vibrating, we can't see it. Well, you're right, but what actually makes that sound is anything that vibrates. We'll talk about the definition of vibrating here in a second. The picture shows some sounds that we hear every day. So, bang, scream, pop, cry, clap, talk, eat, boom, laugh, walk. All of these sounds are things that we hear. They all give off vibrations. We don't see those vibrations, but we do hear them. So, how does sound travel? Sound travels through vibrations. I'm going to talk about that word a lot because it is a key ingredient in how sound actually works. Okay, so we create this sound, we create vibrations that go through the air, and they get into our ear, and they actually vibrate our ear. We don't feel it, but it's what happens. And it goes into our brain, and that's how we process what's going on. So everything that deals with sound is all through vibrations. So, Mrs. Willen, you talk about vibrations. What are vibrations? Well, vibrations are a series of small back and forth movements, okay? And those back and forth movements are so minuscule and so tiny that you cannot see them with the naked eye. They're happening, but you cannot see them. They're just kind of tiny. So how can we hear sound? Again, it's all about the vibrations. Something vibrates and it sends a signal to our ear. Then our ear canal vibrates and it creates that sense of hearing. Okay, so our ear is actually vibrating, and there's different parts inside the ear that work together to work with our brain to make sure you hear what I'm saying right now. So here's kind of a little bit of the ins and outs of how we actually hear.
We define sound as vibrations in the air that the ear detects and the brain interprets as sound. The process by which this is completed is best explained in the visual you can see on your screen. Sound travels as a wave into the auditory canal. The eardrum converts the wave into mechanical energy that passes through the middle ear. In the middle ear, there are three small interconnected but movable bones called the ossicles. These amplify the mechanical energy, which is transferred to the inner ear through the oval window of the cochlea, inner ear. The ossicles tap on the oval window, causing vibration of the fluid in the inner ear, and this movement passes through the fluid-filled cochlea. In the cochlea are millions of hair cells called basilar hairs. As the fluid movement passes over the hair-like cells, they vibrate at frequencies of up to 20,000 times per second. This could be likened to the movement of seagrass with the ocean waves passing above. This vibration is then transmitted to the brain as an electrical signal that is interpreted as sound.
Think about that for a second. as much as you hear, and as many things as you hear throughout the day, even simultaneously, every time you hear something, your ear does that. It goes through that whole process. All of those bones in your ear vibrate. The cochlea vibrates and it sends that message to your brain every single time you hear something that happens. I find that absolutely incredible. Okay, so let's follow a sound wave. All right, so now that we kind of know how sound works, where does it come from and how do we actually hear it? Okay, so let's follow it. So in this picture, there are several things that are happening. When you watch TV, actually right now through your Chromebook, it's kind of doing the same thing. So let's kind of talk about what's going on. So the strings vibrate in an orchestra, okay? The speaker on the TV vibrates and our ears hear it. So we hear the orchestra. It's a little bit more complicated than that because there's obviously microphones and speakers and cords and leads. All kinds of things happen, but basically everything's through the air. So string vibrates, the recorder records it from the microphone. The speaker on the TV then vibrates to send that signal through the air into our ear, and we hear that orchestra. Okay, and all that happens in a snap, in an instant. It's kind of crazy. All right, so say that you, I don't know, go to a cafe. I don't know how many of you youngins go to cafes, but you know. Or you're sitting in music class and you're listening to me, and I'm playing a flute, or I'm playing my ukulele for you. Okay, my electric ukulele works the exact same way. So a musician plucks the string on the guitar. The guitar then vibrates. It vibrates the chord or the lead that goes into the speaker, and it vibrates the speaker, which then vibrates the air so that our ear can vibrate and we hear the guitar. So if you follow all of those things, so this musician right here is plucking a string. We already know how all that works because we talked about ukuleles. So it plucks the string, goes in the sound hole, it vibrates the body, it comes out of the lead down here, vibrates the lead, it tells the speaker what pitch to vibrate at, and the speaker then amplifies that. It goes through the air and right into our ear, which then makes us hear things. It's not insane how all that happens. I think it's pretty crazy. So, the basic gist of today is that sound comes from vibrations. The more that you understand that, the much simpler this class is going to be. Now, no, we can't see it right now. We can't see it vibrate through the air. You can't see sound waves coming from the computer into your ear right now, or even from my mouth into your ear. But it's happening. What's cool about this is that instruments kind of do it the same way. And next time I see you, we're kind of going to talk about how all of those things work. So I hope you learned today about vibrations and how vibrations work and how all sound comes from those vibrations. It's very